Hello, I'm going to talk to you about Astragal mouldings. An Astragal is a moulding that's really a strip like this. It's a little reed that runs along the length of a piece of wood and is semicircular in section. This is a naked piece of moulding, obviously nothing on it, but carvers can take this basic moulding and do various things with it. So for example, we could make a sort of rope moulding, and this is one we've done elsewhere on the site. We could also cut little thumbnails into it. Here's some thumbnails here. Or these little peas or beads. And this effect is called a bead or a Bead and Reel. The long bit's called a reel. But you can add all these peas together and you end up with something looking like this, which is quite special. And this is a pea moulding. And then if you want to go a little bit more adventurous, you can do something like this. This is what's known as a ribbon and stick. You see the effect of the ribbon winding around. So we'll look at all those, and for a project I've decided to have a go at this bowl, and I will put in these beads or these peas into this middle astragal moulding. So this is an astragal even though it's bent round the corner. Anyway, we're going to look at that and all these others, and we'll start at the beginning with just the basic moulding. The first thing we need then is some practice lengths of the moulding. Here's the naked astragal moulding. It's cut with this cutter. It's a semicircular moulding. This one is 1/2 inch across, 14mm. And I'm using my router and I've cut the moulding along here, and then I've trimmed off a piece of wood. Then these bits of wood, which we're going to use for practice, will sit in this little way of holding. It doesn't really matter how you hold it, but it does need to be firm. This sits in these little fences like that, and then at the end I put in a little wedge like this, and then that locks it in position, and the whole thing can go in the vise ready to start carving. The first moulding we're going to look at is this one here, which is essentially the thumbnail moulding we've done elsewhere on the site. Now before we start, I should say that this tool that I'm going to use for it is the same width as the moulding, but slightly less deep. So this is a full semicircle, but this tool is not quite. So this is an 8, something like an 8 rather than a 9 in the Sheffield list. Now we can mark this out actually using the tool itself, like this, making little dents in the wood. Another way of marking out, which probably is much quicker, is to make yourself a little template like this, where you've got the width of the tool marked out, like so, using dividers to step it out. And then you can just transfer this to the wood like this. This will be a unit, and this unit is the same width here as the width of the astragal itself. So put in a few of these steps like this, and then we're ready to cut into the wood. So the thumbnail involves starting with a vertical stab cut like so. You don't need a mallet, just push it straight down into the wood, and then coming to the next unit, or just before the next unit here, you make a scoop like so. And depending on the wood, you might need to have to go back, clean that up. So there's our little thumbnail coming down like this. Now either you can do more of a scoop like this, or you do straight down in a straight line like this. You needn't come right to the very back here, this quirk here. You can stop short, but you do want to be consistent whatever you do. So the next one is going to come down here, so you put the next cut like that, and then you come down like this, depending on how hard the wood is. You might take 1 or 2 cuts, so you do a second one, and so on. And now you can make these longer, so you can go on tube, in which case you need to scoop it round like this. But this, what you're seeing here, is a very old moulding. This is an Elizabethan moulding, 16th century. You see this, and it looks very nice on vases and things like that. So The important thing here is not to undercut, so we're not cutting in like this, we're cutting straight down, and when we come down here, don't lever, because you'll tend to pop this bit of wood off. So that's the first sort of simple, very elegant sort of simple thumbnail. But if you miss a step and do one from the other side, for example here, come down this way, what you're left with is what appears to be a little ball in the middle. So now you can miss that step and reverse it this way and come this direction. Then come the opposite way, and you're producing a little sort of ball and thumbnail effect here, which I think is really nice. But you can see that happening. So you can make that longer, so you can miss two and make a sort of a reel, or you can make these longer or shorter. So that's your basic thumbnail moulding with a little ball left in the middle.